Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Deaths of Athazar card game. And in this video, we're going to have you as the viewer play against an unknown player. And as you play, you will be trying to make the best decisions on what to kill and what to pass based on what you have and what your opponent has. It's very important to remember that there is no guarantee way to win. In Deaths of Athazar, you can be up and then the next round you can be down. However, there are some tips and tricks you can use to become a very good player, and we are going to apply them in this game to see how well we do. So let's get started. All right, as always, the game starts off with passing one card to your opponent, or you can pass two cards if one of them is the hunter card. Now, in this game, you have the token to play first, which means decisions will be different if your opponent plays first. Now, the first thing we want to do is categorize your hands into first, seconds, and thirds. Firsts are cards we will use against our opponent, and they're usually the white cards. Seconds are the cards we will kill, and thirds are the cards we will pass. Now, looking at our hand, we have a sailor, a wise man, a brawler, archer, and a warrior 15. Uh, Now, which one of these will we most likely pass over? Well, as you can see, we have at least four ways to kill. Now we have a brawler to sailor, archer to brawler, or we can have a warrior to archer, brawler, or sailor. Yeah, we can have the warrior kill off any of those three cards. Now these will be considered very strong seconds. Remember, the object of the game is to kill off all the cards in your hand as soon as possible. So we would want to keep all of those cards there. Although the wise man is a white card, at this stage in the game, he wouldn't be considered a first because its power won't actively attack your opponent. The wise man just allows you to pick from the deck in the hopes of getting a better card. And because he cannot be killed by any of the other cards in your hand, it's best to just pass him over as a third. All right, after the pass, we begin the play phase. And we end up getting a hunter and a magician. The card count is now 6-4. So that means on the next round, we have to try to even it out. Now, looking at what we have, we want to keep the hunter for the next pass and pass it with the weakest card in the group, the sailor. The decision now is to decide which combination is the best kill. And it is here where you need to know the odds. Now, of the four black cards, the brawler has the highest odds of being in your hand on the deal. And because of that odd, we can utilize the magician, which can allow us to make a double kill on the next play, making it so that we can get rid of three cards at the same time. So the best play is to have the warrior kill off the archer, leaving you with a chance of a kill 3 and a hunter +1. Your opponent, seeing a card count of 4-4, plays a sorcerer and passes you a wise man from his hand. Odds are this is the same wise man you passed over to him on the pass phase. All right, so what does that mean? All right, now that means that the other two cards in your opponent's hands are more likely valuable killers or disruptors. Most likely an assassin, a high warrior, or a renegade. Not sure, but it's definitely a card he wants to use to gain an advantage. On the pass again, we are going to pass the wise man for the same reason as before, and this time with the hunter to reduce our card count. Our opponent is in the lead at this point. And we do the pass, and our opponent gives us a warrior 4. And that gives us a lot of information. The only reason our opponent would pass a kill card like a warrior 4 is if he couldn't use it. So that means that the two cards he was holding uh, was probably above the value of 4. So let's see what he plays. He has Assassin, Kill a Djinn, and from that we know that his last two cards are the cards we passed over, the Hunter and Wise Man. Now this is a great opportunity to use our Sorcerer. The Sorcerer allows you to give your opponent a card from your hand. And looking at our choices here, we want to pass over a card where the opponent has little chances of a kill. We want to create a dead hand for him. At this point, the Magician would be good. After our play, we now know what our opponent has in his hands: a Magician, a Hunter, and a Wise Man. We do the deal. Now, since our opponent has a Hunter, expect to have two cards coming back to you. It's either going to be a Hunter Magician or a Hunter Wise Man or a Hunter Unknown. So we want to preserve a kill card that could kill at least one of those incoming cards. Now, an amateur player would keep the Warrior, but I tell people all the time, you just can't look at your hand. You also have to concentrate on your opponent's options, particularly when you know which cards are in his hands. Actually, it would be harder for our opponent to kill with a Warrior 4. To use that card, your opponent would need to have a card less than 4. That's basically a Brawler, a Sailor, and Hunter. And that's not the case because we know one of them is a Magician, and the odds are your opponent would keep the Magician rather than the Wise Man when passing the Hunter back. Third card is an Unknown, but in situations like this, we always assume the Unknown to be a powerful kill card. So we'll pass the Warrior, and we kill our Sailor with Brawler, and our opponent answers with Assassin, killing Magician. And from that last card of his is the Warrior 4. On the deal, we get the Renegade. It's a good card because now we could use it to kill off the Wise Man. With two cards left, passing over the Magician with Hunter puts our opponent in an odd predicament. The odds of being able to kill with a Magician, basically killing a match, is extremely small at this point. We pass. We end up with a Brawler. Opponent kills off Brawler with Warrior 4. So now we know that last card is the Magician. We killed the Wise Man. So it comes down to Brawler versus Magician. What we get from the deck really will be the game changer here. All we would need to get from the deck to possibly win is an Archer, a Warrior 4, and an Assassin. And looking at the graveyard, there are still plenty of them left in the deck. So let's see. We end up getting an Assassin, one of the most powerful cards in the deck. And technically, when you have two cards left and one of them is an Assassin, and you'll control the token on the next round, you pretty much won the game. All right, so of these choices, we'll pass the Brawler over. We end up with a Sailor and kill him off to win the game. So that's it. Now, we won this game, but remember the outcome doesn't always end like this. There could have been a myriad of good cards our opponent could have gotten from the deck that could have changed the outcome of the game very quickly. But as you can see, our chances were a lot better when we organized our hands in first, seconds, and thirds, made some statistical guesses, and kept track of what's being passed in order to know what's in your opponent's hand. If you use some of these tips in your next game of DOA, you're on your way to being a very skilled player, I would have to say. So if you like this video, please share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.